Hello. So I want to talk about where we go from here, seeing the situation around the world and how how things have been going on regarding all of these different ideas that are competing against each other like animals in the wilderness. So I don't have any conclusion yet about this, and my intention in doing this is to kind of make sense of everything that happens and try to predict what may happen regarding the social atmospheres in our current politics. So the first thing that I remember is the the one big thing that kind of really got momentum in the the world scope is veganism. So veganism, it really it emerged in a world where was the world was this place where everyone was really, there's still a bit sense of innocence in people. People are still not too exposed to this cruelty and viciousness from one another. So there was this kind of sensitivity to how the animals are being treated. And when people saw it, they either have they have a they have some very strong reactions. Either they feel empathy to the animals, or they feel repulsed by it and they blame vegans for spreading this awareness. But eventually people debate here and there, and then I think the conclusion is that veganism is the correct stance if in ethics. But then some people still don't care. So they start to get used to this kind of to this empathy thing, and one thing started to emerge, which is the carnivore diet, which probably comes after Jordan Peterson became famous. So these things kind of get get interlinked together. There was this veganism movement, which is right now is counterbalanced by this carnivore diet. And then you also have and this carnivore diet is being con- condoned by Jordan Peterson, who at that time was rising in popularity because of an issue about gender pronouns in Canada, the law regarding transgenders. So became that raises an issue of free speech, and then the issue of free speech is still emerging, it's still relevant currently in Twitter. Then I think there's this, people are starting to recognize the the evolutionary the evolutionary arguments, or evolutionary knowledge about human competition in nature, how males kind of compete to be the best, to be the high value male, to attract many females, and then females are very selective about which men they are attracted to. So that kind of thing, people are starting to recognizing this dynamics between men and women, which also got popularized by Jordan Peterson. And then you started to get this incoming marching from these kind of self-help gurus that talk about body languages, and also the way how to build charisma, and also how to be stronger. All of these things kind of get popular. And then regarding the issue of free speech, Elon Musk came forward and just recently decided to finish buying, completing the reclaiming of Twitter. So he bought Twitter. So these are the things that are happening. Then you also have this kind of the emergence of podcasts about mental health, physical health. People like Lex Friedman and Andrew Huberman, and there are some others. And then you also have the issue of this gender identity issue, right? You have this LGBT alliance coming and going against the trans right activism movement. So there are these two groups in the non-heterosexual community. They are fighting about. I predicted this conflict back then when I was still in Facebook, right? Oh yeah, and you also have Mark Zuckerberg trying to launch Meta, Metaverse. So the issue of, there are two tribes in the non-heterosexual community, one is fighting for these trans rights to be recognized legally as the opposites of the sex that they were born with. So if they're male, they're trying to be legalized as female and vice versa. But then you have the feminist faction is kind of pushing back on this. They are gatekeeping from this. It starts terms like groomers starting to emerge. There are gay against groomers. There are trans against groomers. There are also these trans people, trans men and women, which is Buck Angel and Blair White, who are pushing against these trans movements, even though they are trans too, but they are pushing against this kind of propaganda that they are not the biological sex that they are. Because these two people, they admit that their biological sex is real. So there are that two kind of fights happening within this circle. So yeah, they're just fighting each other, and then we also have these gay people going against, because this trans movement is trying to access female spaces legally, like female bathroom, female sports. These are the things that gay and some trans people are against. So there are also the transitioners. Yeah, so these are the things that are happening, and they're kind of confusing. So there are these two factions in the non-heterosexual community. One is kind of feminist, and the other is more trans. Yeah, so LGBT Alliance is more feminist, which is also condoned by J.K. Rowling. She really deserves a mention. J.K. Rowling has been really popular. Everyone was calling her TERF. When I was in this Facebook groups, everyone seemed so anti her, and you would be denounced if you dare to question this kind of dogma. And it was back in like 20 and